Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
What does an old man sound like?
I don't know. It was pretty bad. Like, if you would have came in the live one before I ate the lozenges, the cough drop things, you would have been like, what the heck? Even my dog was like, ew, what is wrong with you? Like, I was calling her to come back in the house, and she just stood there and stared at me like there was something wrong with me.
Well, there is something wrong with you.
Oh, yes.
You're sick.
And then my husband's, yeah. And then my husband was like, yeah, she's probably like, I'll kick that old man's ass in that room with her. So I am doing much better. I still have that little bit of a,
what?
Voice, but I'm doing all right. Trying to get everything together on here, like share and like the live. Welcome everyone. Hello. Ignore my voice.
It has been a very slow day on social media.
Yes.
So check this out. Last night, I'm looking at my main account on TikTok. Hi, Bruiser. And I look at my last 3 videos that I had posted, and they all had the same amount of views, right? They all said 14K. And I thought, that's really weird. So I go to each video individually to look at the exact number. And the first video was 13,998. The second video was 13,999. And the third video was exactly 14,000. They were in order. And I'm like, this is
weird.
Now I could have gone back into one of my old textbooks from college where I took data-driven statistics, and I could have done the math on what the odds are that, 8 hours after these videos have been posted, like one was 8 hours old and one was a couple of hours old, but I could input the times and the statistical probabilities that these videos would have these views in this order at this time, and it would be like 1 in the trillions, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's an impossibility that could happen. Basically, statistically, it's like it's not a thing.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it was suppression, Bruiser. I don't make those claims. That's for other people. I'm just saying it was really weird. I think it was a glitch. It had to be a glitch in the system.
It had to be some type of glitch, yeah.
Sometimes I'll post a video and it'll get like 400 views in the first hour.
Right.
And sometimes I'll post a video and it'll get 40,000 views in the first hour. And sometimes that video that had 400 views in the first hour will have 40,000 views in the second hour. And sometimes the video that had 40,000 views in the first hour gets almost no views in the second hour. I think it's a glitch. I know it's a glitch.
It has to be a glitch. What other reason is there?
Yeah. None of it. In the end, it all averages out,
Mm-hmm.
I think in the end, it all averages out. And sometimes the thing about TikTok is people expect their videos to take off very fast. They'll post a video and they'll look at it 10 minutes later to see where it's at, and they'll think that gives them some sort of idea of where it's going to go, and it doesn't. It really doesn't. I've had videos that do nothing for 2 days and then just become viral for whatever reason. So anyway, 70 2 people on TikTok, 20 big ones in the YouTube house. We ran out of notifications today, Jill. I had posted too much content, so no one got notified of this live that I'm aware of.
Oh.
And Fridays are not a great day for content creators. You don't get great numbers on Friday. People are doing other stuff for whatever reason, getting ready for the weekend or whatever. But Fridays aren't great. Weekends aren't great, historically, for me.
Well, everybody, can you share it? Share it, share it, share it.
Hi, Christine, Karen, Bruiser, Christine, Karen. Oh, we got 3 people in the chat. Oh, hi,
Hello,
Nadia.
everyone.
See, Nadia's up there. Let's talk about the judge, huh? Let's talk about the judge that got arrested.
Oh, yes.
I haven't seen a whole lot about it on TikTok, but people on X are losing their minds. So let's talk about the judge, because I honestly, and probably going to piss some people off, I think it's a bit of an overreaction based on what I'm seeing. And before you get upset, hear me out.
Go ahead.
Okay? So
I'm not upset. You go right ahead.
So the allegation is that the judge obstructed the ICE from detaining an immigrant by, like, I think, I don't know, she told him he was here when he was there or whatever. It was something to, like, some misdirection type thing. A lot of people on X think that this is a response to a ruling she made against the Trump administration. A lot of people on X are saying that this judge made a ruling against the Trump administration, so he had her arrested. That is not at all what's happening. This judge has had no rulings regarding the Trump administration. Mm-hmm. This person was there on a criminal charge. I believe it was 3 criminal charges. I don't know the specifics of the charges. And ICE met him there to detain him for deportation or whatever. And she offered up some misdirection or whatever she did that caused some kind of problem. That is the allegation. That's why she was arrested, according to media reports I'm reading. But this is not a response to an unfavorable ruling against the Trump administration. If it was, that would be insane. That would absolutely be, all of the outrage would be justified. But if it's true that this judge did what they are saying she did, and I don't know if it's true or not, like I said, it's an allegation. If that is true, then and if no one is above the law, just like Donald Trump's not above the law, then I don't understand what the problem is.
And I'm not going to disagree with you, because when I read it, I was like, she sent him out a door, the back, a judge's door, so that he could get away and all that. That is breaking the law.
Yeah.
I get it that people are trying to protect them, and that is the thing, that just don't get caught. That if you're going to do it, don't get caught. Because it's still the law.
Don't get caught.
Right. Like, if you're going to protect people from ICE, which is crazy, doing things that they're breaking the law too, but 2 wrongs don't make a right. So if you're going to do it, don't get caught.
Yeah. See what happens, Mr. Farmer, when you make an assumption, when you assume.
Yes, we got a new person in the TikTok chat. His name's Mr. Farmer. He is new here. Nice to meet you, Mr. Farmer. But don't make assumptions of people.
Mr. Farmer with 0 followers. Are you from China? Are you from China?
My God.
So here's the thing about this, and it's what's really bad about it is people like me will look at this, and it's not necessarily the case with me because I don't care. I don't care if people don't agree with me. I don't care if people get mad at me. I don't care if people unfollow me. But these are the facts of the case as we know them, right? And if you, it seems like if you speak out that does in a way that does not fit the narrative that everyone is running with, then you're ostracized. You can ostracize me. I don't give a fuck.
And apparently I don't either, or I would not be doing lives with you because I know you're that way. I don't want to laugh too much. I'll start coughing.
So look, when I got up this morning and I got around and I first started reading this story, I had only looked at X, and I was like, holy shit, this is crazy. I thought, this is insane what's happening, right? And then
I did too.
Yeah, and then I went to TikTok, and I was on TikTok for probably 30 minutes, and I didn't see a single thing about it on TikTok, and I thought, this is nuts. Like, I figured this would be the biggest story everywhere. And then I just kept looking, and I read different articles from different media outlets. Nothing had been posted on the Dispatch page, which I'm a member of the Dispatch, if you people don't know, work with the Dispatch. They hadn't done anything on it. But everything I read, and it sounds like Jill has even more information than I do because I didn't know the particulars about letting him out some door or something. And I thought, well, this isn't what I was led to believe it was. I was led to believe that a judge in Wisconsin was arrested for ruling against the Trump administration. That's what I read.
That's what I thought too.
I read that many times on X from very big influencers on the left side of the aisle.
I read the same thing. So it's even on Facebook, which is weird, right? So I thought the exact same thing. And then I went and read an article and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. And Rick Wilson on Substack, who is part of the Lincoln Project, he is probably the biggest one out there pushing this narrative. And I saw him doing it on Substack, saying it's the end of the Constitution, it's the end of everything, the country's over, because of what happened this morning. And he is completely lying about it. I've lost a lot of respect for Rick Wilson today.
Well, I don't even know what to say to that.
Oh yeah, he's pushing it big time. Karen says, I loved your statement that the law doesn't care who Garcia is. It's absolutely true. And the Kilmar Abrego Garcia case, when I read that article from Jonah Goldberg on the Dispatch, I was like, this is exactly what I've been saying. But Jonah Goldberg is a writer. He's a New York Times bestselling author, and worked for all the major media outlets. So he's a professional writer. He was able to put it on paper much better than I can. I can speak it. He can put it on paper. But he did a fantastic job in that article talking about how the Democrats are failing Kilmar Garcia by fighting this out in the court of public opinion over whether he's a good person or not. It matters not if he's a good person. It has nothing to do with the law. It has nothing to do with due process. You're arguing that this is a father, a good person. They're arguing he's a bad person. None of that matters one bit in a court of law. It doesn't matter what your opinion of is. The only thing that matters is the Constitution and his due process, whether you like him or not, or whether you don't like him. And so Democrats are trying to get people to like him, which is a losing battle. They're never going to like him, right? They need to be focusing on the law.
No, they're not.
They need to be focusing on the law. Even Jeffrey Dahmer got due process. It doesn't matter if
Yes.
he's MS-13. It doesn't matter if he's in a gang. It doesn't matter if he's a terrorist. It doesn't matter if he's the greatest guy on earth. It doesn't matter if he's a father, if he's from Maryland or Delaware. None of that matters. The only thing that matters is that he gets his due process. Because everything else is an assumption about who he is and not anything that's litigated in a court of law. So the Democrats need to stop fighting this public fight in the public court of opinion about Garcia. And they need to say, whenever Donald Trump comes out and says, this is a terrorist, the response needs to be, it does not matter what your opinion of this person is. If your opinion of someone mattered in a court of law, none of us would be safe. That is the argument. Not that he's a good person. The argument is that regardless of who he is, he's has a right to due process. And I think Jonah,
I agree.
Yeah. I think Jonah Goldberg nailed that article.
So Joan says, legal dad says it doesn't appear that the judge even committed a crime.
I don't know. I don't know if the judge committed a crime or not. I have no idea. But I do know that the arrest, the alleged reason, or the reason for the arrest, the allegations have nothing to do with what people say they have to do with, right? So we just need to start with the facts, right? The judge did not rule against Trump. This isn't, something. And so if the judge has never ruled against Trump, and they don't really know who this judge is, why would they arrest this judge? Right?
Right.
And allegations are just allegations. The judge gets the same due process that Garcia gets, right?
Oh, yes. If she did break the law, I know they're saying it doesn't appear that she did, but if she did, then she shouldn't have got caught.
I'd be curious
she should have did it better.
What legal dad is saying about that and how,
he has a video on it. So
there's a video? Okay.
Mm-hmm. You want me to play the video?
I mean, if you want. Yeah. How are you going to play it?
Let me go to his.
How are we going to do that?
On my other phone, my other device.
Okay.
I just got to find it. Okay, here it is.
An elected judge in Wisconsin was arrested by United States Marshals. The charge, obstructing or impeding a proceeding in front of an department or agency of the United States, and concealing an individual to prevent their discovery and arrest. Let's take a look at the complaint. Here it is. It's in the United States District Court for the Eastern District of Wisconsin. The defendant, the Honorable Hannah C. Dugan. This is based on an affidavit from an FBI agent based on her personal knowledge upon information reported to her by other federal law enforcement officers, during and as part of their official duties. She also bases the affidavit upon information provided by citizen witnesses and other information described below. Hearsay. Milwaukee ICE was given information that Eduardo Flores Ruiz would be in court in front of Judge Dugan in a criminal case. They went to the courthouse with an administrative warrant. They identified themselves as security, and a shift sergeant said that any arrest must wait until after the completion of the scheduled hearing before Judge Dugan. This was standard practice, and the agents agreed. They were told the same thing by a courtroom deputy. The agents left the courtroom, took positions at different locations in a public hallway. Flores Ruiz arrived with his attorney, and they entered the courtroom. The affidavit says that an attorney told the judge's clerk that there were ICE agents outside the courtroom. The courtroom deputy reported that the clerk then got up and talked to the judge, and the judge became angry, commenting that the situation was absurd, left the bench, and entered her chambers. Another attorney said that they heard Judge Dugan say that the judge was going to call the chief judge before leaving the courtroom. Judge Dugan did that and asked a deportation officer if they had a judicial warrant, and the response was, no, I have an administrative warrant. Judge Dugan said the deportation officer needed a judicial warrant. The deportation officer disagreed, and the judge demanded that the deportation officer speak with the chief judge. Most of the agents had been pointed out to the judge, one hadn't. All of the ones that had been pointed out went to the chief judge's office. The one that hadn't stayed behind. The chief judge told the group that he was working on a policy that would dictate locations within the courthouse where ICE could safely conduct enforcement actions. Here's where we get to the guts of the claim. Judge Dugan apparently allowed Flores Ruiz and his lawyer to leave through the jury box door. That leads to a non-public area of the courthouse, but then to public areas. The lawyer and Flores Ruiz ended up back in a public hallway. They were observed in front of the judge's courtroom. And took an elevator. A DEA agent was on that elevator and notified other members of the team that the agent was on that elevator. Flores Ruiz ended up outside the front of the courthouse and was approached by the ICE agents who identified themselves. He then ran. They ran after him and caught him. So here's the real question after all of this. If it's true that the judge allowed Flores Ruiz and his lawyer to leave through the jury box door, and they then made their way back out to a public area right in front of the courthouse, was there any crime? Keep in mind what they're accusing her of down there at the bottom: obstructing or impeding a proceeding before a department or agency of the United States. Well, there was no proceeding before a department or agency of the United States. And concealing an individual to prevent his discovery and arrest. If true, was allowing them to leave through the jury door, then making their way back to public areas, concealing an individual to prevent his discovery and arrest. Taking everything that's in the affidavit from the FBI agent as true, doesn't sound like to me that there was a crime committed here. Arresting a judge and charging her in federal court with a crime is clearly meant to intimidate judges. It sounds to me like the chief judge was working on a process to make all this work, that ICE was not following that process. The judge got pissed off, told these people to go see the chief judge, and then whatever happened, happened, and they got their guy. Arresting judges because you don't agree with their process, not a good look, but don't expect it to stop.
So I suggest everyone go watch it because he brings the receipts. They're on there. So there you go.
And what was he reading there, Jill? That was the affidavit, is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he puts pictures of it up. So that's why I suggest you go watch it.
So if you follow Legal Dad or Attorney Di, you can go to definitely their TikTok pages. It may be on their YouTube pages as well, and you can see that for yourself, or you can just look up the affidavit. I'm sure it's everywhere online. And see all that for yourself, because here you got to listen to it. But yeah, that brings us a lot more information.
Yes. And yeah, it absolutely does. So like you said, can't trust the media, right?
No, and you cannot trust the media. And and so here's the problem: when something like this happens, and someone like me comes out and says this is misinformation, right? Then I'm automatically painted as someone who's on Donald Trump's side, apparently, because I'm not running with what all of the morons in the media who are trying to get as many views and clicks as possible with this story, basically exploiting this judge's thing. This judge is going through something right now. She's going to be in the national media spotlight for God knows how long. All of this is thrust on this judge. And I don't care if you think you're on the right side. If you're spreading misinformation about this judge and why or how she was arrested, you are simply exploiting her for your own benefit. You're exploiting
Absolutely.
Her and everything she is going through, you're taking advantage of her in the exact same way that people on the right will take advantage of her. You don't care about the judge. You don't care about anything but promoting your argument regardless of the facts of the case. And the reason I bring this stuff up is because I think it's important we get to the facts of the case. And Legal Dad...
Yes, and that's why I wanted to play his video, yeah.
People like Legal Dad are really good at this kind of stuff. You know, he makes a video, he presents the affidavit. Attorney Di, I'm sure, did the same thing, right?
Absolutely. I guarantee you, yes.
Yeah, I trust those people and what they say because they're a lot like me. They're not going to jump on the narrative bandwagon.
Absolutely not. Yep.
And it doesn't help
go
your
watch
cause.
that video, everyone. No, it doesn't help your cause.
It does not help
Go watch
your
that
cause
video,
to
get
lie.
it pushed out there. I agree.
It blows my mind. It blows my mind. You don't need, I tell people this all the time, you don't need to make up shit about Donald Trump. Like every day he gives you everything you need to make him look bad. There's no reason to make anything up. There's no reason to exaggerate. There's no reason for it to be more hyperbolic. All you have to say is what he actually did, and you win. And as soon as you steer away from that, you're no different than the side you oppose.
I agree.
I'm glad you agree, Jill. I'm glad you feel better, too. Did you go do that thing?
No, not yet.
Not bad. We're not talking about that. I'm just...
Thank you. So, people were asking what video. So, it's Legal Dad's video. Go watch it. Push it out there because it's, it needs to be pushed out there. And he also, it's best to watch it because he shows, he brings the receipts. And thank you, Joan. Thank you, Joan, for letting us know.
Christine says the judge didn't do anything wrong. She was targeted because she didn't just hand over someone to ICE under their conditions. There are proper procedures, and she wanted to follow them. And Christine, you may be 100% correct.
I think she is, yes.
And my issue is that is not the story that's being told in a lot of places. And
it's not being told on any media.
People are going to believe that this woman was arrested because she ruled against Donald Trump. Because there's people all over the internet saying it, and it's not true. I'm not saying her arrest was or was not justified. I'm saying people are spreading misinformation about it, and it's not going to help her. It's only going to hurt her, and you're exploiting her. Stop doing that.
Yes.
Bruce Wayne's mother says everything Legal Dad said is exactly what Attorney Di said too.
Yes. That's what people were saying. So they're saying the same thing. The type of warrant that they had too should not have been used. Did I get what?
I don't know. I don't know what kind of warrant needs to be presented for that, right? That's for people like Legal Dad.
He says it in this video.
And Attorney Di and I guess I didn't hear that part, but I'm very careful about speaking on specifics about things that I'm not an attorney. But I will call out misinformation when it's obvious, right?
Right.
Oh, wow.
Right, Bruce, exactly.
I don't know the difference between a judicial warrant and an administrative warrant. I have no idea.
I don't know the difference between the two either. I just know that Legal Dad said they had to have this one and they had that one, right? So
we need more people that will say, I have no idea.
I have no idea. Yeah, I'll say it.
I can tell you about the
Because I don't know the difference.
Yeah. I can tell you the difference between light and heavy crude. I can't teach you about warrants. That's not a thing. When is the Canadian election? Is that today? That's not today, is it? Is it today? Or is it Monday?
I think it is. No, I think it's today. Somebody tell us,
Where's our
because I'm not sure.
At? Bruiser, is the election today? Bruiser's Canadian, ain't she? Eh?
Yes, she is. It's Monday, everybody's saying. All right, Monday.
Monday. The election is Monday. I have had so many requests, people wanting me to make videos in support of Carney for that election. And this is how they usually go. Hey, will you please make a video supporting Carney for the election? Now, I have said in comment sections, like on different social media pages, and I think I might have even said somewhere in passing that if I was Canadian and I was voting, I would likely vote for Carney. I've said that. But I got to be honest, I feel weird about telling people who they should vote for in another country. I don't know why. I just don't feel like I should be doing that.
I would feel weird.
Yeah.
I would feel weird too, yes.
I know about 5% of what I need to know about each of these candidates to make a decision. And the little bit I know about them definitely has me leaning towards Carney, right? I will happily say that. But to make a piece of content in support of a candidate in another country, when I just don't know that much about them, I do know, I can't imagine why I would ever vote for Polyev, honestly, if I was Canadian. I just don't feel, as an American, that I should be doing that. And maybe I'm wrong. I just feel weird about it, That would be like a Canadian telling me who I should vote for in the United States. And I'd be like, why are you telling me who I should vote for? I don't need you. I don't need your opinion. You're not from here, right? So I don't know. I don't feel like I should impose my opinions on who they should vote for in another country. It feels like overstepping to me, I guess. But and maybe I'm just thinking about it too much, but what do you think, Jill? Do you think that's proper?
No, I agree. I wouldn't want to do that either. I wouldn't want to tell somebody who to vote for in another country. I don't know enough on their politics to do that.
Yeah.
I understand that I would never, if I was there, I would vote for Carney, right? Because there's no way I'd vote for a Trump wannabe.
Yeah, and honestly, I've heard from many people, what?
That is so funny, Joan. I know you're wetting Joan. I know you are.
I'm what?
Are you wetting Joan?
Am I what?
Like what? Are you saying that to Joan?
No, I got a message on my phone.
Okay, Joan said if the candidate was an oily meat stick, Global would have no problem, though.
Oh, for sure. I would probably, I'm sure I would vote for an oily meat stick before I'd vote for a lot of people. No, what I'm saying is I've heard a lot of people say that Polyev is a Trump wannabe and all that. And I'm not saying he's not or he is. I have no idea. The thing is, I haven't heard a whole lot of what Polyev has said. Like, I probably haven't watched 3 minutes total of video from Polyev.
So I've watched a good bit.
Yeah.
And that's because Joe sends them to me. So I do see a good bit on him, and he is a lot like Trump.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
And so my concern is without seeing it for myself, are people linking him to Trump because he's a conservative, or is he actually like Trump? Because there is a difference.
No,
You can be a
he
conservative and
speaks
not
like
be
him.
not be a dictator, right?
He speaks like Trump.
That's another level to me, you know. But yeah, I just don't feel it's my place as an American to talk to Canadians about who they should vote for. It's their country. You know, they get to decide their future. That's how I look at it.
There's a reason they call them, what is it, Maple Megas, because they act like mega.
Maple Megas. And just so the Carney supporters know, you know, for every 500 messages I get telling me to support Carney, I get a lot telling me to go with the other guy too. I'm not going to be influenced by messages from people. That's not how I roll. That's not how I vote in my country, and I'm not going to be influenced by that. I have to do this myself, and I just haven't seen enough to make, you know. And the reason I haven't seen enough is because I'm not voting. It's not my country. I'm not voting.
Right. And the only reason I do see things is because Joe sends them to me.
I'm getting a little stuffy, Jill. I'm feeling a little bit right here.
This isn't good. That's where mine started.
Oh, great.
And that's why I thought it was my allergies, right? And that's why I thought it was going to go away.
You thought it was your what?
And then I was like, my allergies?
Your hillbilly
allergies? No, I don't have hillbilly allergies. Yes, Kevin, that is another fake account. But yeah, I thought it was. And then the next thing I know is I was freezing, shivering underneath a bunch of blankets, body hurt. I was just, and then that cough. The cough. Oh my God.
You had a license to ill.
That's funny.
Yeah. No, she is not referring to Joe of Unlearned 16. She's referring to Joe, someone else we know from Canada.
Oh yeah, I'm referring to a friend of mine.
And it sounds like Carney's going to walk off with this election anyway, if what I'm hearing is correct, right? Didn't he have a huge lead?
I don't know.
I mean, that's what I'm hearing from people, that Carney's way ahead in the polls. I think he's like 70% or something. TGIF witches. Hi, Peter. How are you?
Hi, Peter. I know you're talking to me. I tried not to laugh after I said it. Tried to be like serious, you know. I can't laugh too much because I'll start coughing.
Yeah, she will. Friday Harbor says the Liberals are leading. Chad says it's a close race. I guess we'll find out on Monday. I trust me, I don't trust everything I hear.
After our election? No, you never trust anything.
I honestly don't trust anything I hear. As an American, I don't trust anything I hear.
I am rooting for you, though, Canada. I'm rooting for you. You got this.
You're rooting for Canada?
Yes. Don't pull an United States American thing. Don't pull that. Okay.
All right. You know what confuses me? Isn't it backwards in Canada?
Is what backwards in Canada?
So in Canada, like in the United States, the liberals are blue and the conservatives are red. Isn't that backwards?
Oh, yes, it's backwards.
Canada?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Yeah, so that's backwards
so it's
in Canada. Now, this poll I'm looking at right here,
right,
which is 338, which is strangely similar to 538 in the United States has. It shows the liberals with looks like a 5-point lead. That's close. That's a lot closer than what.
That's close.
What I've heard from other places. I don't know anything about 338 Canada or their polls. I don't know how accurate they are. I just looked up a poll, right? So we'll see.
Anani.
Looks like a dead heat in Newfoundland. All right. But we'll see. I may not even know how to read these polls, honestly, because there's there's 3 other parties on there. Do they count? Do they count for anything? Do their votes go towards a liberal or conservative, or are they liberals and conservatives? Like, I don't.
Kind of like here. I'm pretty sure it's like here.
Canada's confusing.
I don't think it's as confusing as you think. Like, I don't think it's as confusing as you think.
You can't tell me how confused I am about something. That's not a thing.
Okay.
That's personal to my brain.
You're confused.
If I'm confused, like you may not be confused at all. That doesn't mean I'm not confused.
Okay.
Okay,
you're
so
confused.
who is the NDP? The NDP, are they liberals, conservatives, independents? Do their votes count towards someone that's going to win? Does it matter? The parties form coalitions. Yeah, that's great.
The parties are separate.
Yeah, the parties form coalitions.
There you go.
That tells me a lot.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I know they're separate parties, but we, like here, we have them as well, separate parties like that, right? But
NDP
like independents will go out there, but
yeah. New Democratic Party is what Bruiser says. New Democratic Party is what NDP stands for. That's the far left of Canada. That's like, what's that dude? People have been tagging me in this. Boots on the Ground, some lefty gamer dude on TikTok that people are trying to get me and him to go to battle over something. I have no idea why. It's stupid, but
okay, some people are saying like NDP is liberal, historically pro-union and labor. And someone says the Green Party is further left than NDP. And I think our Green Party, I don't know what our Green Party is. Do you?
It's the Green Party.
I know, but are they like left or right? I don't know.
Our Green Party is pretty left, but they're not crazy left. They're not like far, far left. Ralph Nader, he was in the Green Party.
Right. That's true, yes. They're like environmentalist and social justice.
Yeah, and environmental justice.
Right. All right, that explains it. Because I couldn't remember.
I don't know why
Hey,
they
if I
would
don't remember,
think.
I'm asking.
Bruiser says, I don't know why they would think I would battle him. He's a leftist indie, I think, too. I don't know why they think I would battle him either. Like, he is. I've had a run in with that guy in the past, and he's no match for me. He's not. I mean, not to sound arrogant, but that guy wouldn't last 2 minutes with me. He's too far gone. He thinks we should stop all oil production today. Like, he doesn't have a clue. He really doesn't.
Someone asked if we got $1.83 gas.
No.
Did you get $1? Do you have $1.83 gas?
No.
I don't either.
Gas is $2.60 where I live.
Well, let me see what it is here. I should put prices.
So, Bruiser, when I had a run-in with that guy, it was like probably 2 years ago. And it was because he said something like that. He may not be saying anything like that now, but that's what he said that on a video a couple of years ago, what I responded to. And he responded back to me and said, yeah, let's listen to the oil and gas guy about oil and gas. And I said, yeah, let's, exactly.
So the gas in my area is $3.60.
Yeah, $3.60.
In my area.
In your area.
Yeah, because like some of the areas, like down by Philadelphia, I think it's like $3.14 or something, $3.16. But in around me, it's between $3.57 and $3.60.
God, that sucks for you.
Hey, I have an eco car, right? And that's why.
You have an eco
I
car?
pay a lot of taxes. I do.
You have like what do you have? You have a hybrid?
No, it's just eco. So
just,
it runs, easier on gas.
It just gets good fuel mileage?
Mm-hmm, yep.
I didn't know they called those eco cars.
Well, it has eco written on it, so it's an eco car. Yeah, like on the dash, whenever it's showing your mileage thing, and when you hit the gas and it shows that you hit eco mode, yeah, so it has it on there, so it's an eco car.
Well, I can have eco come up
just
on
a
my
little
dash
foursome
in my F-150. I have an eco mode.
Yes, see, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I can turn it off and put it in sport mode if I'm feeling feisty.
I can put mine in sport mode too. Yes, so there you go. We both got eco-friendly cars, right? So we both got eco-friendly cars.
We don't, Jill. That's a
yes.
scam.
I have a four-cylinder. It is definitely.
It's a scam. There is no eco mode or sport mode.
Well, there is on my car.
Well, I know there is. I'm saying it doesn't do anything. Because I have the same thing.
If I feel... Okay, eco mode is not the same. All right, fine. But whatever. It's an eco mode, okay?
Kelly, it's an eco car when it's in eco mode, is what she's saying. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what I'm saying is, my truck has an eco mode, it has a sport mode, it has a normal mode, and that has some other mode. Anyway, I see no difference. So I see no difference in any of the modes when I'm driving it. I see no difference in fuel mileage. I see no difference in torque or horsepower, or like I see no difference in any of those modes. That's why I said it's not a thing.
Right. If you drive in eco mode, it's supposed to save you on fuel.
It is.
That's what I'm saying. It's
But
supposed to, right?
In an F-150, it doesn't.
I doubt it in an F-150,
Yeah.
but in my 4-cylinder, it would.
It probably does. The only way to save fuel mileage on an F-150 is to drive slower. And you don't need to put it in eco mode to do that, right? You take off slower.
Right.
Your braking is better, right? You brake properly. You accelerate slower. Your top speeds are lower. That's how you save the most amount of fuel. I've been in eco mode and got worse fuel mileage than in regular mode. So...
So my car is pretty good on gas. It cost about $40 to fill up, and I could try. It's good on gas.
Check out Peter with the super chat. You don't have to use as an American anymore. I've made you an honorary Canadian. Thank you, Peter.
I'm the one who makes those decisions up here. If anyone asks.
I happily accept your appointment as an honorary Canadian. I might even put that in my bio. Honorary Canadian. You think I would catch any flack for that?
Is somebody gonna make me one too?
Only Peter
Because
can do that.
I could really use that.
Yeah. Peter says he's the one that makes those decisions. So.
Peter, get on it.
I think like you get to come with me, Jill. Since you're with me, I think you automatically get a pass, you know?
Oh, okay.
Like you can use my membership.
Ad says it doesn't in a Toyota Corolla. It doesn't what? We're still talking about the Eco. Shit, it does in a Toyota Corolla. It definitely does.
There you go, Jill.
Yes, Peter. Yes. Right.
Congratulations, Jill.
Oh, I'll put my elbows up. No problem. So, what was I going to ask? Oh man, this cold is really messing with me.
Really? Are you having hallucinations?
No, I'm not having hallucinations. I'm just like forgetting what I was going to say.
So here's what I'm going to do, Peter, because I think it is my responsibility as an honorary Canadian to do this. I'm going to go online, and I'm assuming that Canada has a citizenship test, just like the United States does. I'm going to go online, and I'm going to learn that, and I'm going to take that test. I think that's the least I should do to be an honorary Canadian is to not officially pass the test for citizenship purposes, but be able to pass it. I think I should be able to pass it if I'm going to accept that.
So the Grand Beaver says yes, I'm welcome.
The what?
The Grand Beaver.
The Grand Beaver?
Yes. Oh man, how can you be an honorary Canadian if you don't know what the Grand Beaver is?
Are you talking about Bruiser?
No, Peter said the Grand Beaver says yes. Wow. You better get your shit together.
I can't see the chat. I don't have my glasses on. But hey, in like 6 weeks, I'm going to have new glasses.
Yes, he went and got an appointment. He went and made an appointment to get glasses.
Yes. I made an appointment to go to the eye doctor, and in 6 weeks, in 6 weeks, I'll be able to see. Isn't that great?
It is great.
Yeah, in 6 weeks. I haven't been to
Kelly
the
is trying to say, go ahead,
You
in
go.
8 years.
Yeah, I haven't been to the eye
No,
doctor
you
in
haven't
8
been to
years.
the eye doctor. Yes. And Kelly says that I am always elbows up with my buggy. Excuse me, Kelly. It was one time. I hit somebody with a buggy one time.
So the Grand Beaver is the mascot of Canada. I can tell you why I'm confused, because last night someone told me that it was a cobra chicken. And I was like, there's no way the cobra chicken is the mascot of Canada. That can't be a thing.
No, they were totally messing with you.
The Grand Beaver.
Yes.
So everything else is pretty flat today. The Dow Jones didn't do much. Oil didn't do much. Gas prices. None of that did much today. Really, the story today is the judge.
Yeah, I don't think there was any other stories that were out there.
Beaver is our mascot. The cobra chicken is our weapon.
Yeah, there you go.
Dude, a beaver is a lot meaner than a cobra chicken. The beaver would be my weapon too. The beaver is a badass. You don't want to mess with a beaver.
Right. So there's Pennsylvania fires going on right now.
Wildfires?
Yes. I think it's at the Cumberland County State Park is where it started, and then there was another one that happened to.
That made me think of that
Spread.
song. Now I got that song in my head.
Which song?
Wildfire.
Oh, okay. Yeah, New Jersey too. Yep. So the fire in Pennsylvania started on Wednesday. And then another one just started, I think, yesterday. I don't know if it's coming from that first fire, though, I believe.
Shit, I forgot to do something. Can you hear me?
What?
Can you hear me?
I can. I'm sorry. I was sneezing when you were talking.
Santos,
I had to mute
George
to
Santos
sneeze.
got 87 months. George
Okay.
Santos got 87 months. That's what, 7 years and 3 months? I don't remember what he was convicted on. Was it? I think it was fraud. So if you didn't get a cameo from George Santos, they're probably on sale right now. He just got 87 months in the Who's Gal. That dude made a
So
fortune
someone
on
said-
Cameo. Someone said what?
Someone asked where I guess they mean the fire. It's in Cumberland County. It's 0% contained. Two wildfires scorched 1,300 acres.
Hey, there's my buddy Chad. Chad says, I got a scam call today earlier. I did a vid on it and used your catchphrase in it. I saw that scam call. I saw that video you did, Chad. It was hilarious. And so the scammer calls my buddy Chad, and I'm going to try to get this right, and tells my buddy Chad that he didn't show up for a grand jury thing, like as I believe as a member of the jury, right? And I can't remember if he was told he had a warrant or what, but anyway, he got a scam call from this person saying that he was supposed to be on this grand jury, is what I believe, in our county where we live, right? And the funny thing that Chad didn't mention in this video is that his wife is the judge. And so Chad didn't mention that in the video, that, you know, Chad would know. I feel like Chad would know if he had to do something in court, because his wife is the fucking judge, right? So, which probably gets him out of jury duty, right? Probably gets him out of jury duty.
Oh, yeah, that would definitely get him out of jury duty.
But that scammer definitely called the wrong person to scam about being in court, considering his wife is our district judge. Great people. I did laugh at that video.
I didn't see the video. Send it to me.
I don't think Trump pardoned Santos. I don't think he does. I don't think any of those people like George Santos.
I don't know.
We'll see. I don't think they like him at all.
They might not.
You know, he does the drag thing. And
right.
I don't think they will. I don't think they will. I could be wrong, but I don't think they will.
Oh, they probably won't. I don't know. You never know with them people.
No, you never know. But I don't think, you know, Santos doesn't have anything to offer Trump. That's the thing. You know, Trump is transactional. If you want something from Trump, he's got to get something in return.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell?
Deborah says someone in person.
What does George Santos have
to
offer Donald Trump?
Nothing. Deborah said someone impersonating you wanted me to add them on TikTok, and I knew it wasn't you when they started sending me messages. Thank you, Deborah, because that is what I try to tell people. If they are sending you a message, that is not him. So I had to put that out there because she did the right thing and understood the assignment, right? She knew it wasn't them. Do you hear that, everyone? Okay, sorry. I'm just tired of like all these fake accounts and people coming in and well, I'm not tired of the people asking, just tired of these fake accounts causing people to ask. And I interrupted you to say that because it's important.
Thank you, David.
You said no.
No, you didn't interrupt me.
Okay.
That's what I was saying, though, too. So Chad says he can't be pardoned.
Is it a state crime?
Or no, he didn't say he can't be pardoned. He said he got pinched for wire fraud and ID theft, no pardon. So I don't know if he's saying it's a state crime or if it's just his opinion he won't be pardoned.
Bruiser, you're always interrupting me.
And Dave says Santos wears less makeup than Donald Trump or J.D. Vance. That's true.
He does.
That's very true. That's a good point. Dave Langley from Canada. I assume you're from Canada. You have a Canadian flag. Yeah, that is a very good point. Santos does wear less makeup than Donald J. Trump and J.D. Vance. What is that? What is that thing? I don't know what that is.
I don't know, but it's a hug.
Oh, it's a super chat.
Yes.
Thank you so much for the super chat, Westy. It didn't pop up.
Thank you, Westy.
Global has more fake accounts than others of similar notoriety. The reason I have so many fake accounts is because I'm an oil and gas guy, and oil and gas is a great way to scam people. You know, they can use oil and gas investments as a scam, and I think that's why I have so many fake accounts. If I wasn't oil and gas, I probably wouldn't have so many fake accounts, even if I was, you know, a big creator. Thank you, Westy.
Yeah, that's a new type. That's pretty cool.
J.D. Vance looks like he's wearing eyeliner. J.D. Vance is like if a millennial wanted to secretly be in the band Kiss. He does wear a lot of eyeliner.
So which one is Chad down there in the chat?
Wood and Bass.
So I can.
And on TikTok, he's my friend. He lives here. He actually lives right down the street from me.
Well, that's why I was wondering, because you kept calling him your friend, so I wanted to follow him.
Why don't lower oil prices hurt Russia and its economy? Okay. It's not that lower oil prices don't hurt Russia and their economy. It's that it won't bankrupt Russia and their economy, and it certainly won't end the war. That's, you know, it's not that it won't hurt. It's that it won't do what people are saying it'll do. People are saying if you just lower oil prices, the war will be over. No, that's not how this works. The war will not be over. Especially considering the fact that now that China has completely cut off the United States from LNG exports, and now Russia gets to sell all that natural gas to China, the lower price of oil will only be recaptured in more sales of natural gas. Because Donald Trump doesn't know what he's doing. You know, he's over here saying lower oil prices will bankrupt Russia. At the same time, he's enabling them to sell more of their other commodities to make up for it. And let's not discount the fact that it is Russia themselves that are pushing more oil production from the OPEC Plus group. Russia's not at all worried about lower oil prices, and Russia is not going to be bankrupted by $50 or $60 oil. They'll be just fine. Will it have an impact? Yes. Will it end the war? Not a chance in hell. That was the point I was making. And that was a response to Joey Contino, I believe is his name. Contino, I'm not so sure. He's on TikTok and probably some other places. I've seen him around, but I don't exactly know who he is. I know he's a left-leaning influencer, I believe, basically repeating Donald Trump's line that it'll bankrupt Russia. It won't. That's not a thing. It will not bankrupt Russia.
So, there isn't a lot in the news today, is there?
Did I see how China was trolling Vance? I did not see that. I did see that you know, the Trump administration came out and said they were talking to China, and China was like, we're not talking to anybody. We haven't talked to anybody. We don't know what you're talking about. There are no talks going on. So, Dying Breed says, Mr. G, I know it's impossible to predict gas prices with this administration. I wonder what happened that you had told me gas will be cheap this summer. Now it's going to be expensive. What changed? I didn't say it was going to be expensive. When the markets crashed, I said gas prices are going to plummet with the market. Gas prices are going to crash with the stock market because that's what they do. And then we didn't see gas prices fall that much. And then we learned that nobody's buying anything in convenience stores, so they're keeping their gas prices higher to make up for their loss of inside sales because consumer confidence has collapsed. And I verified that with two different people in my town anyway, when I asked them why gas prices weren't cheaper. Because the wholesale price of gas had fallen by nearly 40 cents and gas prices themselves had only fallen by a few cents. I was like, what's going on? You know, what's the deal? And then it confirmed that that's happening around the country. People are spending a lot less money inside convenience stores. So these stations are keeping their gas prices artificially elevated to make up for the loss of sales inside the stores. That's one of those unforeseen consequences of artificially manipulating a market. And I talk about this all the time. When you artificially manipulate a market, you don't know what's going to happen because it's not natural. It's like when you go back in time, you don't change anything because it changes the future. If anyone has ever seen Back to the Future, you understand this concept. It's the same thing with manipulating markets because you don't know what you've done. You don't know what you've done. You don't know what's going to happen because you artificially change something that is a natural thing, right? But no, I don't think gas prices are going to be expensive this summer. I just think they're going to be higher than we thought they were going to be because everyone thought they were going to plummet. And then we just saw them rise last week. And then today they fell, I think, half a penny. But yeah, you're right. It's impossible to predict gas prices with the Trump administration. It's crazy.
It is crazy. It is absolutely crazy that he's causing fear in people on spending. Like they're afraid to spend. So they're not going to spend in the convenience stores for sure.
I watched an oil and gas expert in Canada on a news show in Canada. And they point blank asked him, what's going to happen with gas prices? And he looked at the lady, he looked at the anchor, and he said, don't ask me that. And she's like, what? He said, don't ask me what's going to happen with gas prices. I have no idea. This is uncharted territory. We have no idea what's going to happen, and I'm not going to guess. And that's what we're seeing. Like, nobody knows what's going to happen. Economists, the 99.9% of them that say everything we're doing is stupid. I agree that they're right, that this is stupid, but even they don't know all of the things that are going to be caused by this. They just know it's not good.
Yep. And that's exactly it. So I see people saying about refineries are up. Is that true?
Huh?
People are saying refineries are up. Like there's more refineries now.
Then when?
So drill baby drill is huh?
There's not any more refineries today than there was 3 months ago. I don't know what you mean.
That's exactly what I mean. Thank you. You answered my question, even though you said you don't know what I mean.
Well, it was confusing that someone said refineries are up. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Now, there may be another refinery in China, but when I talk about there's not any more refineries, there's not any more refineries in the United States and Canada.
Right.
Dying Breed says the classic car market is crashing. That is also a sign of a really bad economy. If you have extra money, it's a good time to buy a classic car. They're on sale.
Oh my God.
What is happening to natural gas? It went from above $4 to below $3. So this is seasonal, right? This is what happens in the spring. Temperatures are very mild. We're not using a ton of electricity to cool things yet because it's not super hot yet. So this is just seasonal price fluctuations, right? And I told you guys a few months ago that how well natural gas maintains its price level during the spring is a big indicator of what it's going to do in the summer, because it's going to go up in the summer, right? It's going to get really hot. We're going to start using a ton of electricity for air conditioning and all that kind of stuff. We'll start using a lot more natural gas and the prices will come back up. Most companies, I shouldn't say most, a lot of companies hedge their natural gas through the spring. They'll do usually a 3-month contract to hedge their prices. And they take a little bit of a loss on the back end. But nothing abnormal with natural gas. This is basically what we expected for prices to do in the spring. They go up in the summer, they go up in the winter, they fall in the spring, and they fall in the fall. That's how natural gas prices work. I bought 24 gallons of propane today, which is 100 pounds, and it cost me $140.
Is that, like, I don't buy that much propane
That's
at once.
high. That's high. I
Okay.
paid, if you do the math, what's that, $6 a gallon for propane? That's high.
That is high, yeah.
Yeah, that's high. But
That sucks.
I won't have to buy it again for 3 years, So, what? $45 a year for propane to run my grill? I'll take that. Because I have a 100-pound propane tank that I tie into my grill, and it'll take me 3 years to use that propane. So it's expensive, but not that big of a deal when you don't buy it, but once every 3 years.
I buy charcoal.
What are your thoughts on the Benicia?
I'm not a big fan
refinery?
of gasless.
Huh?
No, you go. Answer your question.
Someone asked me my thoughts on the Benicia refinery closing. So about a week ago, they came out and they said they may close or they may just restructure. They came out last night and said they're definitely closing. So that's another refinery that California is going to lose. Which, beautifully, the announcement was made maybe 2 hours after I made a video saying that Gavin Newsom cannot win the election to be president of the United States because all these refineries are going to close and gas is going to be $8 a gallon in California when he's running, which will destroy his chances to win a national election. I got a lot of pushback on that. People said I don't know what I'm talking about. People will vote for him anyway. It's almost like they haven't paid attention to anything that moves voters in this country over the last 15 years. But I stick by that, So that's another refinery that's going to be down by the end of the year, I believe.
That's a lot of money for gas.
Yeah.
I wouldn't vote for him if I had to pay that for gas.
So now we have 2 refineries.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now we have 2 refineries that are definitely going to be closed by the end of this year in California. 2 more, definitely closed. That is going to drive gas prices even higher in California. If one more closes, and there's like 3 more that are thinking about it, if one more closes, you are paying $8 a gallon in California, and that just has to happen between now and the next election. And I'm not talking about the midterm, I'm talking about the presidential election. Gavin Newsom is fucked when it comes to running for the president. You cannot win a national election when you're the governor of a state where gas is $8 a gallon. The Republicans will destroy him on that. And it's not, this isn't an anti-Gavin Newsom message. This is a reality message. This is just reality. And if the Democratic Party props him up, they are making a huge mistake. They just are. You can never convince me that someone can win when gas prices in their state are $8 a gallon. And half this damn country votes with gas prices. They just do. I don't know why they do, but they do.
I don't know why they do that either, but you're right, they do. Like, I don't pick my president over gas price. What are my gas prices? Let me pick the president. Because normally, the president doesn't control gas prices, and a normal person should understand that.
Yeah, and the difference here is that gas prices in California can be directly tied to Gavin Newsom. They absolutely can, right? You couldn't tie them to Joe Biden because it wasn't anything Joe Biden did. But you can 1,000% connect Gavin Newsom to those gas prices. Jason Zimmerman, thank you so much for your membership. I really appreciate that. I got to reset my membership goal.
You do.
But that video pissed a lot of people off.
Yeah, I'm sure it did.
How dare you talk about Gavin Newsom? It's just reality, step outside of your politics for a minute and just look at reality. Can you imagine the commercials Republicans will run against Gavin Newsom if gas is $8 a gallon in his state and he's the presidential candidate? He's going to get demolished.
There's no way he would win. Yeah, there's no way he would win. Would he even win the primaries? That's the thing.
Well, the thing is, Gavin Newsom has the two things that people really care about, which are the two things that nobody should care about. He has charisma and good looks. And for whatever reason, that's like 90% of what you need to be a president in this country. And I don't get it. And if not for that, nobody would even be talking about Gavin Newsom. If it wasn't for his, charisma, he's tall, he's a good-looking guy. If it wasn't for that, he wouldn't even be in anybody's brain. He wouldn't even be in the universe of talking about. If Gavin Newsom looked like freaking, I don't know, who was that guy from Jersey? If he looked like Chris Christie, nobody would even be talking about that.
Oh my God.
That's how we are in this country, Bill Clinton, super charismatic, good-looking guy, young, president. Barack Obama, good-looking guy, tall, charismatic, president, right? This is who we vote for whatever reason.
Oh, come on then. Explain Trump.
Huh?
Explain Trump then.
He's a billionaire.
What happened?
Greed. We worship money. He makes people hate people, and they love to hate people, But
he is
am I
nasty,
wrong about Gavin
though.
Newsom that if he looked like the South?
Oh no, you're not wrong.
Yeah. If Gavin Newsom looked like the south end of a northbound mule, nobody would be talking about him being the president. We cannot pretend that looks don't matter in this country. They absolutely matter.
Well, yeah. Exactly.
And even George Bush, Not a big, like, tall, good-looking guy, but very charismatic. Even when he sounded stupid, he looked like someone that you could hang out with and just shoot the breeze with. People loved that. You know, the people that voted for George Bush said, that's someone that I would sit down and have a beer with, right?
Right, and he isn't that bad looking.
No, he's not that bad looking. I'm just saying he's not up there with, like, Gavin Newsom, you know. Gavin Newsom looks like a freaking model. Right?
No, he's not.
He looks like
he's not up there with Gavin Newsom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely not up there with Gavin Newsom.
But all of these
certainly Canada does it too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Trudeau, good-looking guy. You know, not
exactly.
my cup of tea, but
yeah.
I prefer blondes. But is
That's
J.B.
funny.
Pritzker a billionaire? Is he? I don't know. I don't know that much about J.B. Pritzker. The last name sounds like he's got money, though. Pritzker. That sounds like a rich guy. Do you know, Jill?
I don't know. I have to keep muting to sneeze or something. I don't know what come in this room, but I kept sneezing. I'm all right now. I'm good.
Oh, man. So when George Bush was the president of the United States, I ordered this thing online, and it was a picture frame, and it was a fake Time magazine cover. It was like a gag thing, right? But it was a cover of Time magazine with George Bush's, photo on it, and the headline was "We are fucked." And I bought that.
Oh.
Right? I thought it was hilarious.
That is kind of funny.
Man, I would love to have George Bush back in the White House.
Me too.
I would.
Me too.
I have never donated money to a candidate in my life. I might send him some money if I thought it would get him back in the White House. Google says...
I would rather... I say that all the time, too.
Right. David Porter says, Google says Pritzker is $3.5 billion. Wow. He is a billionaire.
Yeah.
I wonder what it's like. What do you think it's like to be a billionaire? Isn't that just nuts?
Oh, I can't even
That's just stupid.
imagine. I would like to be a billionaire.
What would you do? Would you get one of those gold toilets?
No, absolutely wouldn't. I would be more of the one that would help my friends and stuff.
Ah, no, not me. Not me. Not helping my
Then
friends.
why am I friends with you?
I don't know.
Then why am I friends with you?
I would help you, but I
You know, that was funny. That was perfect.
Dude, you give people
You
money
wouldn't help
and
your
they
friends?
never stop coming back for more. That's the thing, Jill. Like, it never ends. Look at these lottery winners. A lot of the reason they go broke is people steal it from them, take it from them, convince them to do stuff that shouldn't,
Oh, no, you have to, like, when I say I help my friends, I mean, I'm talking, like, my close friends. I'm somebody who wouldn't try to, like, I would be really careful. I wouldn't just go around helping all my friends. Like, I have a lot of people I know, but they aren't my actual friends, right? So when I say friends, I mean someone I really like.
You mean friends.
Right. I'm not talking just all willy-nilly going around and giving people money just because I know them.
I wouldn't even tell anybody.
I would hide from my family.
I'd be like, I'm broke as fuck.
I'm kidding. Oh, I would, yes. See, that would probably... And then you just be like, well, yeah, I can help you out a little here and there. That's what I'm saying. You gotta hide. You definitely gotta pretend you're broke.
Yeah, you start meeting all these cousins you never knew you had.
Right?
Like Kelly.
Like your 12th cousin?
Yeah, like
once
Kelly.
removed?
Kelly be knocking on your door. Hey, it's me, your 12th cousin.
No, she wouldn't be knocking on my door. That's the thing. Kelly would not be knocking on my door. And that is one of the people. No, I'm saying what I'm getting to is that would be one of the people that would get my help, right? Because she would not. And I know she wouldn't. Yeah, and I would help you. Just remember, if it happens to you, I'm knocking on your door too.
You won't have to knock on my door. I'll cash app it to you. It might take a month, but I'll cash app it to you.
Oh my God, that's funny. That is funny.
No, I wasn't suggesting that Kelly would come beat on your door.
I know you weren't.
I mean, I was.
I know you weren't. I was just using that as an example of the person that I would help. That's what when you said that, I was able to finally use an example.
The live would be lit. If that happened. That late night live would be lit.
It would be.
Everybody would be fucked up.
It would be. Yeah, it's true.
Oh, man. But yeah, if I won the lottery or something, like, I think everyone has those conversations, right? Husbands and wives, they have those conversations. What would we do if we won the lottery? I say the same thing every time. I'm not moving. I'm not going to buy a new house. Because I have so much shit that I've accumulated over my life. I don't care about moving. I'll just stay right here because I'm not moving this shit. That's how our conversations go.
So I would move.
I guess you could pay somebody to move your shit, but moving is such a pain in the ass.
It is, but it would be the last time you have to do it.
But you've lived in the same place for quite a while. I've lived in my house for 7 years, but prior to that, I lived in like 3 or 4 different houses in a period of like 3 or 4 years.
Well, so did I. I've been there before.
No, but I was moving a lot, right? And I'm so tired of moving.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not moving anymore. That's not a thing. I don't care how much money I got. I'm not moving.
We moved a lot when I was a kid, too, constantly. But my husband and I have moved quite a bit, too. But, yes, mostly we've been in the house before this one. We were in there for a long time. And then this one, we've been here for, I think, 10 years.
And when people get older, at least in my case, when people get older, they care less about material things. And they really just want to be comfortable. That's, at least I just want to be comfortable. I don't much care about material things.
I don't care about material things. I would prefer to have things I need.
Right. But people tend to, some people tend to get really materialistic when they come into a lot of money. And, like even today, we have the home that we always wanted. What most people don't realize is we completely furnished it with shit from the thrift store. We've never bought a new piece of furniture in this house. Everything we've bought has come from thrift stores and consignment stores and stuff, because
you're lucky to have.
We're junkers.
Well, you're lucky to have your wife because she knows how to do that type of shopping, right?
Yeah.
I do not know how to do that.
So when we bought this house, we were like, okay, now we need some furniture, right? Because this house was much larger than the house we lived in before. It was like twice as big. We go to the furniture store, and we weren't at the furniture store for like 20 minutes. And I was like, nope, we are not paying for this shit, because it was furniture that was very expensive and was not good quality.
Cheaply made.
It was
Yep.
cheaply made. A dinette set was like 10 grand, you know? And I'm like, fuck you. The house can stay empty. We went to the thrift store and consignment shops and bought everything for the entire house, for probably at a 90% discount. It was so much cheaper.
Mm-hmm. And it's cheaper. I just wish I knew how to do that kind of shopping.
And
I wish I could find a thrift store in my area that I could do that in.
well, thrift stores are huge in more rural areas. You have a lot of people
Right.
buying and selling stuff. But what we did was we went to thrift stores and consignment shops in the wealthy parts where the rich people
Yes.
live, and we bought really high dollar, high end, high quality stuff for pennies on the dollar. So like we looked at a dinette set that I said was like 10 grand. We found something equivalent to that in a thrift store, or it was a consignment store, for like $600. And it was even better than what was 10 grand new, right? That's what I'm talking about. It's
Right.
Where do you go find that stuff?
And in my area, so a lot of the stuff that are in these like Goodwill stores and whatever around my area is garbage. A
Yeah.
lot of it's garbage. I have to literally go, like, basically into Pittsburgh, right,
Mm-hmm.
to find that. That's what I have to do.
You have to find the hidden places.
Yes.
That's the secret. The places people don't know about.
Yes. I'm going to have to start searching for them. We're quiet.
Huh?
I said we're quiet.
I'm reading comments.
There's, no quiet time in this life.
We're praying.
There's no praying in this life.
So, next week I'm going to Springfield, Missouri to do that stuff with Will.
Yes.
And I was telling my wife about it, and I said, if you want to go, you can, And she said, what would I do, And I said, well, it's Springfield, Missouri. There's probably thrift stores there. Oh, shit.
So is she going with you?
Actually, I think she has to go somewhere else to work, so I don't think she's going.
Oh. Usually your wife goes with you everywhere, right? When you travel like that anyway.
No, not usually.
Oh, okay.
That's why I asked her, because she doesn't get to go very often when I go do stuff. And
Oh, okay.
so I was like, hey, if you want to go, But I was asking her because I knew that she loves to go to places she's never been before and go treasure hunting at thrift stores and Goodwills and fucking wherever she goes finds this junk at.
Oh my God. It's not junk to her.
No.
Right?
It is junk to her. It's not junk to the people she
But
sells it
she's-
to.
That's what I was just going to say, but she sells a
Yeah.
lot of it.
I think she has thousands of items in her Etsy store that these people just buy stuff like crazy. It's unbelievable.
One person's junk is another person's treasure.
Yeah, and she keeps up with like what's trending in that world, what people are buying. You know, she'll come home with her SUV completely loaded with coffee cups, right? People are buying coffee cups. I'm just like,
Yeah,
okay.
as long as they have a saying on it.
Okay. I don't know what to tell you. If I did what she does, I would probably go broke. I'd go broke in a week, but because I don't have the knowledge.
Oh, great. Now I'm loud and you're quiet.
What is her Etsy? Oh my God. What is it? Let me ask her.
I can't remember.
I just asked her. I think it's Owls something.
Bruiser's yelling at us again. Well, she's yelling at you, not me.
No, it's Bruiser. See, there's a way to look at photos people have shared, right? I think she sent me a photo one time. I'm gonna go ask her.
Yeah, go ask her. Now I'm here alone. Hi, Tracy.
Man, it's chilly in here.
What's the temperature?
Huh?
What's the temperature there?
What is the temperature? It's low enough to make me feel chilly. I got the AC running.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
No, David, you're not. I just meant alone and alive, as in to talk. That I have to talk. So, it's 73 here.
Oh, it's nice outside. I'm sitting underneath an air conditioning vent.
Can you shut it off?
The Indigo
Since it's
Owl
coming
Shop.
directly down?
The Indigo Owl Shop is the name of the Etsy store. Are they saying your volume is loud?
Yes. And yes, he controls it.
Okay. How's that?
Is that better? You need to tell us because we don't know. Because we hear each other exactly the same no matter how you hear us.
Yeah, we don't hear what you hear. You hear something else. Bruiser, it's the Indigo Owl Shop is the name of the Etsy store. Indigo Owl Shop. What was I going to say? The when y'all say she's loud, I barely hear her, and when I think she's loud, y'all can't hear her. So I don't know what's going on with that.
So is that her Etsy or her webpage?
The Indigo Owl Shop is her Etsy.
Okay.
If you search that, it'll just take you to Etsy. Man, she's got a lot of shit in there. I'm gonna have to go through here and see what of mine she's selling. Anyway.
Oh my God.
Hey,
I wrote it in the chat.
Yeah, that's what it is. Thank you.
Yeah, I wrote it in the chat. I'm gonna put it on the TikTok too. You're welcome, Deborah.
Thank you, Jill.
Oh, of course.
What streaming software? I'm using Streamlabs. Streamlabs Pro. I probably am on there. Probably on sale too. I'm on flash sale.
Are you hearing us better? Did they say if they're hearing us better or not?
I don't know. I can barely hear you, but you're loud to them. You got any plans this weekend, Jill?
Do I have any plans this weekend?
Yeah.
I did, but now I had to cancel them because I got sick. I was going to have my granddaughter over, but I cannot. I'm not having her over this weekend. She can come over next weekend.
Do you expect more or less oil production in the U.S. in the second half of 2025? It's going to be flat. It's not going to go up. I would be shocked if it went up. I expect it to remain pretty much where it is, maybe fall a little bit. There's nothing pushing oil production upwards right now. It's fallen since Donald Trump took office. So if I had to guess, I would say it's going to fall a little bit, but it won't be much. I have a couple of birthdays this weekend. Good Lord.
Oh, fun.
Oh, yeah, fun. That's why I had to go get propane.
Oh, they're at your house.
Well, one is. So I got propane for the grill because we're going to cook out. There's always someone having a birthday. Jeez. Maybe you have birthdays every 2 years, maybe. Kind of trim that back a little bit.
I mean, I'll go for that. I keep saying I'm going to skip the birthday this year, but nobody ever lets me. I couldn't skip last year's. I can't skip this. Nobody ever lets me skip.
What goes for a cookout? That depends on how many people are in attendance. So this cookout this weekend, there's probably going to be a lot of people here. So I'm guessing it's just going to be hamburgers. Maybe some hot dogs and hamburgers. When we cook out just for us at home, it's ribeyes. Because we're not buying 40 ribeyes to cook out for people. That's not a thing.
Peter, that's a good idea. And I do the same. We do the same thing here. If we're having like a get together, it's hamburgers and hot dogs.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna have a steak tonight, but it doesn't look like I'm gonna be cooking it on the grill, which is what I was hoping for. But it doesn't look that way because it looks like we're gonna get rain.
I'm on my 7th 49th birthday. Wow. What are the sides? I don't know. Potato salad? Probably. What? Maybe macaroni salad? Maybe some beans? I don't know. I don't really pay much attention to that stuff. Like, I'll usually eat a hamburger and, like, I won't even eat any sides. That's just how I am. I'll just grab a hamburger and stand there and eat it by the grill. But you're trying to learn the culture.
So we do the same stuff.
Yeah, the culture.
We do the same stuff, potatoes and stuff. Sorry.
Yeah. The culture is me standing next to the grill with a hamburger, wearing a pair of khakis and a t-shirt, looking at people with my Yeti in my hand.
Watching people eat.
Yelling at kids that are screaming, telling them to shut the hell up. That's the culture.
Who opened this can of pop and left it sitting here?
No, not a plain.
Why'd you buy the cheap pop?
Why'd you buy the cheap pop?
Because the kids open them and leave them sit around, right? So yeah. I do that. I'll buy the cheap pops.
That's exactly what they do.
And then people were like, why did you buy the cheap pop? Well, because you can't keep control of your child of opening all my pops. Yes, get off the lawn. Exactly, Bruiser.
I don't tell people to get off the lawn as long as they're related to me.
That's funny.
Good pop is $90 a case now. It probably is. I went to the grocery store the other day, and I don't have a solid grasp on what groceries should be because my wife does most of the grocery shopping, and she orders it online and has it delivered. So technology basically has brought me to a place where I don't grocery shop like I used to. I used to grocery shop all the time. And I'm guessing food prices have not dropped based on what I saw at the grocery store the other day when I was there. It was expensive. It was very expensive. I bought
They actually went up.
Yeah. So I bought food for one dinner. I bought some pork chops and salad and beans for a dinner. And then I bought snacks. I bought some snacks and I bought some sandwich meat and bread. And I bought a 12-pack, two 12-packs of pop that were $9 a piece. I didn't buy that much stuff, is what I'm saying. One dinner and then like some, but I didn't want to buy a lot because my wife does the grocery shopping and I'm afraid if I go buy a lot, it'll mess her up, right? So she was working, so I went to the store and bought just what we needed for a couple of days. It's like $150.
Mm-hmm.
And it was basically one dinner and lunch meat and stuff to drink. A couple of bags of chips. Of course, I bought some strawberry shortcake rolls. And,
Yeah.
and some honey buns. But I didn't really buy anything. But when I saw the price of the Coke Zero that was $9 for a 12-pack, I thought, oh my God.
Yeah.
Because I remember when they were 2 for $5. And then I remember when they were 2 for $7. And then they were 2 for $10. Now it's 1 for $9.
Yeah.
That seems expensive. $150 for maybe 2 days worth of food.
Right.
Groceries is a very seldom used word. You know, I just heard about this word.
I heard Donald Trump made that word up.
Yeah. I did spend 5 years of my life working in a grocery store.
But it wasn't called a grocery store, right? Because Trump made that word up.
No, it was called a grocery store. It was even on the flyer.
They stole his word.
And this was like 1987 is when I started there. What a concept. The word groceries. What a concept. That's not a concept.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a thing that's always existed.
Exactly.
And Jill, I bought one of those meat and cheese trays with the crackers, right?
Oh, no.
What?
No, you don't buy the trays. You buy the stuff and you make the tray yourself.
I'm getting to that.
Okay. Okay.
Because that's normally what I do, right? That's normally what I do. I normally buy the stuff. My wife normally buys the trays. I normally buy the stuff. So since my wife normally buys the trays, I grabbed a tray, right? It had pepperoni, salami, 2 different kinds of cheese, and the crackers. You know the tray I'm talking about.
I do.
We get it home, and my wife goes to open it, and the salami is purple. And I don't know if you know this, but salami is not supposed to be purple.
It's not.
My wife's like, look at this. So I go look at it, and I'm like, what the fuck? The salami's purple. This is a $20 item. Those trays are $20 now. Well, it was.
I know.
It was $18.99, and then when you add the sales tax, that's a $20 item.
So here they're like $25.
Yeah. I took the tray back and got one where the salami was not purple.
Yeah, you can't have no purple salami. It's Helly. You want to hear it?
It's hailing at your house?
Yes.
You have hail?
Yes, it is. Uh-huh.
That's not good.
It's slowing down now. Yes. Yes, we do. I was like, what is that banging noise? And I went to investigate, and that's what it was.
Wow. So you have storms.
We have storms.
I got to go look at Jill's storms now.
I wasn't even expecting this.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
It was short. It was short, but it happened.
Storm. That's a little storm. Yeah.
Yeah, I just kept hearing this banging, so I went to investigate to see what it was. And yeah.
Man.
So back to your purple salami. Are you still going to buy the trays anymore, or are you just going to go with the buying the meat and making the trays?
I took it back and I got another one. I traded it. I walked in and I told the manager, I'm like, this salami's purple. Like, so I just got another one. And I checked it good to make sure it wasn't purple salami. But that was icky, right? That was, ugh.
That's gross.
Yeah. And all that stuff is sealed up, right? And it was in a fridge and it was sealed up and it was still purple. Makes me wonder how long it had been there.
Somebody changed the expiration date on it, guaranteed.
Is that like rolling back an odometer?
Yes. Here it comes again.
The hail?
Well, it's big raindrops is what it is right this second.
Big old fat rain.
Yep.
Bruiser, I've had many meals that were cheese and crackers. I've had many meals that was just cheese.
Yes, me too.
I can just sit down and eat a block of cheese for supper. I don't care.
I could too. I could too.
Yeah, I've done it many times. That is something else I bought at the grocery store. A big block of cheese.
Yes, I remember that. Big block of cheddar cheese.
I just bought another one, yeah. But I did notice that...
I have a block. Well, you noticed what?
No, I was just going to say the shelves in the store were very thin. Not a lot of stuff in the store. Not a lot of stuff in a lot of stores. And they're talking about shortages coming. Right?
Right. There's a lot of shortages here too. You go to the store, you try to find something you want, and there's not much there. We went to sometimes we'll go to 3 stores, sometimes 4 to find something now. It's messed up.
You have to eat the cheese with potato chips. I do sometimes eat cheese with potato chips.
Yes, absolutely.
So last night I made something really good because I often snack late at night. I don't know why. But I had some cilantro and lime tortilla chips. They had salt, cilantro, and lime on them. And I made nachos with those tortilla chips, and it was really good. Excellent. With sharp cheddar.
All right, can you hear? I was going to say, can you hear me? Because I don't know if my headpiece died or...
I can hear you now, but I did hear something
there?
happen on your end. I heard like a click. It went to.
Yeah, I think that my headpiece died, which shouldn't have, but whatever.
Holy cow, it's 4 o'clock.
It is.
Let's wrap it up.
All right, let's do that.
Thanks, you guys, for joining us today, hanging out with us. We'll be back. I'm not sure if we'll be on tomorrow. I have a birthday party tomorrow, but I don't know what time it starts. So I'll let Jill. Jill, I'll let you know because I don't know yet. But if we're on, you'll get a notification.
That's fine.
And I'll text you, Jill.
Okay, perfect.
So everyone have a great Friday.
All right, have
Thanks
a great weekend, everyone.